CCTV's Nathan King reports.
In public, it was all smiles at the White House between the U.S. president and Israeli Prime Minister, with Barack Obama stressing he thinks peace is still achievable.
It is still possible to create two states, a Jewish state of Israel and a state of Palestine, in which people are living side by side in peace and security. But it's difficult.
But just hours before this meeting, the U.S. president, in an interview with Bloomberg View, says he will push Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to make peace. Obama said he would ask the question, if not now, when? And if not you, Prime Minister, then who? And as Palestine gets greater global recognition at bodies like the United Nations, the U.S., while continuing to support Israel, says it will be harder to avoid the country's isolation. Obama is quoted as saying, if Palestinians come to believe that the possibility of a contiguous sovereign Palestinian state is no longer within reach, then our ability to manage the international fallout is going to be limited. The push for a peace deal now comes after Obama made a direct appeal for peace to Israeli youth during his visit there last year. There is a feeling here in Washington that this may be the last chance in decades of peace. If U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry's efforts fail, there could be another Palestinian uprising. Anger at continued Israeli settlement building on disputed land and a feeling that Israel may be just playing out the clock on talks is heightening tensions. The deadline of April 29th for a framework deal is fast approaching. But Israel's Prime Minister says Israel's security must be guaranteed.
The only peace that will endure is a peace that we can defend. And we've learned from our history, Jewish history, but I think from general history, that the best way to guarantee peace is to be strong.
As the U.S. pushes Israel on Middle East peace efforts, it is also trying to ease concerns over Iran. Israel is skeptical over U.S. talks with Iran's new president and the interim deal over Tehran's nuclear program, both causing tensions, as well as last year's U.S. decision not to use force against Israel's neighbor, Syria, after a deadly chemical weapons attack. While U.S. President Barack Obama stressed the strong bonds that holds Israel and the United States together, these behind-the-scenes words are the first indications that potentially the U.S. president sees the Israeli Prime Minister as an obstacle to peace in the coming months. Nathan King, CCTV, Washington.